much for watching or listening today. And today I have a very special guest. I've actually wanted to interview this man for actually years. I've followed his career for years and years. On a personal note, this is a dream come true. Today's guest is an absolute legend of bare knuckle fighting, a true living legend. He's a world champion in bare knuckle fighting, transatlantic champion, has had over 250 bare knuckle fights, some gloved fights in there as well, and other things.
Yeah.
You know, and it's probably more than that. Actually, we'll get into it now in a minute. But he's an
Oh,
absolute living legend.
it's 240. Actually, it was when I put on my first 250, it was 240. It was just me fat thumbs made it 240. I think I've had 247. I think I've had a 246.
246. Incredible. Well, guys, you've guessed it. That is our guest, Jimmy McCrory, absolute living legend of bare knuckle boxing. And champ, I do want to say, obviously, just a big thank you for coming on the show as well. I just want to get that in there. Appreciate it.
Pleasure, thank you.
So yeah, so 246, and those are pretty much all bare knuckle, are they? Because I know you've had a few glove ones.
No. There's only about 20 out of them or 30 out of them. I can't remember, to be honest with you. I think 20 of them or something. Then all the rest are boxing, amateur and unlicensed, and that.
Okay. Well, incredible. Obviously there's gloves, there's bare knuckle in there, but I mean that many fights is absolutely amazing. So obviously big respect on that, champ. That was pretty much the first question, is to actually clarify, how many, because there's different numbers out there on the internet, as you've probably seen yourself. It's good to get to the bottom of that one.
I couldn't really tell you the exact number, to be honest with you, but I think that's just like everyone about, That's what I think it is. It could be more.
Could be even more. There you go. Amazing, absolutely amazing. Obviously, you fought the best of the best as well through that time. Now, looking at it from the present day, we'll start with the present day, and then we can go back in time. Obviously, you're fighting for BFBA now, Andy Bakewell's company. Recently had a fight against a man they call Coffee King. I hear he's a very, very heavy hitter. I mean, he's stopping lots of guys. So, in terms of obviously all of the guys you fought and everything like that, his punching power, how does it measure up, against so many of the guys that you faced? Because you've been in there with some heavy, heavy hitters. How hard does he hit, Coffee King?
Well, Coffee King, a massive puncher. I'm not making any excuses. Okay. Because of COVID, a lot of shows cancelled. I was matched with John. I forget his second name now. John Ferguson, a cruiserweight for the next year, and then when BFBA brought their show in, it was fighting heavyweight the day before. So obviously, me being me, I wouldn't want to let anyone down. I want to put over a couple of fights when I later in my full time fighting. When I just can't be able to with health. So I took it in. I'm not taking nothing away. I'm not going to make no excuses using the 5-stone difference. Is an excuse, because I knew Kofi's weight. I took a risk and it didn't work out. Simple as that. You caught some good shots. Simple as that. And my legs couldn't recover. So I'm not taking nothing away from Kofi King. I knew Bakewell, not taking nothing away from him. He didn't try and fucking bluff us, you know what I mean? He told us everything about Kofi, and he's a great promoter, simple as that. He's been honest with us and he's kept his word, which is the biggest thing for me. I took a risk, it didn't come off. He's a very, very hard hitter. Kofi King, to be honest with you. But you're going to be when you're fighting someone that big, you know what I mean? Simple as that.
Yeah, for sure. It's good to get the inside track on it, though, obviously, with one of your most recent fights. Now, with the addiction side of things, you've been very, very open about your recovery, and, it gives people hope that they can recover as well. If a legend like yourself can do it, other people can do it as well. So I just want to touch upon that. I don't really have a really specific question, but can you just sort of fill us in on how it's going for you and how your recovery is going? I understand you have a good amount of time clean at the moment as well. So just anything you'd like to share about that process, really, champ.
Yeah. Lots of things were happening through bad choices in my life. And I used cocaine and alcohol when my dad died to numb it. And it's been something that I've always fell back on, when things are getting difficult in my head, because I struggle with emotions massively. Always been different. And then, it was very, very hard to watch when, you're promised all this fucking fights and all that with BKB, and then nothing was coming to fruit, wasn't getting matched everyone else was, it was hard to watch. By no way, shape or form, by saying that, does anyone think that I'm trying to blame Joe for me having addictions? They're my demons, it was my wrong choices. I just want to say that, yes, I'm bitter and the way that I've been treated towards the end, but I wish nothing but the very, very best for Joe, because Joe invested a lot of time and a lot of money when I was there. Joe done a lot for me. I've got nothing but fucking hope, and I've still got love for Joe, to be honest with you, because I know for a fact that's not all Joe's doing and being that what he's being at the minute. Oh, what he's turned into, but it is what it is. I'm not going into that. I don't know negativity. I wish him all the best. I really do wish Joe all the best. So yeah, I was using cocaine a lot, and it just stopped us worrying, it stopped us overthinking things, and I'll be honest with you, I was doing like 40 odd pints of stout a day, all night, and people used to challenge us, say, you can't drink 40 odd pints, you can't drink 40 odd pints, and used to be sitting in bars and the barman would be counting, 34, 35, and marking them off, 36, and I'd be sitting on the fucking stool, my arm was going, hey, get in, on the 40th pint down in it, and I thought it was great crack, you know what I mean? All I was doing was killing myself slowly, and fucking knows how much cocaine I had up my nose. And then obviously I snorted that much cocaine, mate. It stopped working. And then someone said to us, "Oh, I've got something that'll make all your troubles go away." And they give us a pipe, and that was it. Boom, I was away with it. I loved it. It made me forget all about fucking my dad not being there. My dad's been dead 21 years, and I still struggle massively with it. I struggle with it just as much as it is the day after he died. It just made us forget everything. Not seeing my children. Me fighting career not going the way that it was promised, and it's just it's the devil who took my soul. It really did take my soul. I would get it by any ways means necessary. It did make me it took me soul. I wasn't a very nice person. My end of using, I wasn't doing it for enjoyment, mate. I wanted to die. I had guns and fucking other things there, but I just didn't have the balls to fucking pull the trigger. So was that about? I've sat a few times with the fucking Brett on my mouth, wanting to die, and I just didn't have the balls to fucking pull the trigger. Simple as that. I don't want anyone to look at this interview and fucking think that I'm glorifying drugs or drink or being a plastic gangster with fucking firearms, because it's just a complete waste of life that I'll never get back. One thing I've learned in the fellowship of Narcotics Anonymous is that I can't do anything about the past. All I can do out. Sorry, that's being through again. All I can do is make amends for me mistakes where I'm allowed, and I can try and have a good future. Try and make amends. I've got two of my kids back in my life. Hopefully, Saoirse will one day want to make her own mind up. Sorry. Hopefully one day I'll get my other daughter back in my life and I can't make amends to her. Until then, I can't really do anything else apart that I'm doing, apart from get more clean time and be the person that I was born to be before fucking cocaine took me soul. And that's all I can say about that. But if I can do it, if there's anyone struggling that sees this interview, please reach out, because if you keep it to yourself and take it home, you're not only fucking snowballs, More times I was sitting, man, in fucking flats and crack dens by myself, just fucking, In fact, that was when I got my realization. I was looking, thinking, how would my life turn this? I should have had a great career in boxing, then I should have had an even better one in the bare knuckle. I was wondering how's my life turned this, I fucking lost all of my fucking gold, my Rolexes, my fucking decent clothes. I was homeless, fucking everyone I'd helped, there was nobody at all. Nobody whatsoever was fucking genuinely there for me, and unless they could get someone with me, get someone out of us, and there the answer was there. Empty tins of Guinness, piles of cocaine, empty bottles of gin and vodka. That's how fucking my life turned to that. Because I was a coward. I didn't fucking deal with my problems, with my emotions. I fucking numbed it with that bullshit. So if I can change, and if you're struggling, give me an inbox, you know, and I'll see if I can give any suggestions that help me.
Absolutely. You know, Champ, honestly, first of all, I want to say big, big respect on, how you're overcoming these things. And obviously, I know it's a step-by-step process. I know it's on every level. It's physical, it's mental, it's emotional, it's spiritual, it's everything. But obviously, I know what you're saying about the amends and so many things. But honestly, you give people so much hope that they can change as well. And that's a powerful thing. And if something good is going to come out of what you've been through, that's definitely what it is. And I just want to say big respect for that, because facing all these things is, it takes a brave person to do that. And obviously, I know you're very brave in the ring, or, everything like that, but it's brave in a different way. So big respect on that. And anyone out there who's going through it, give Jimmy a message. He's open, he's an open book, and, you can contact him about any troubles. So honestly, champ, thank you for being so open about that. So honest. I know that's the type of person you are, but like I
Can't
say, it
lie
really
about
helps.
that. You
Yeah.
can't lie about that, mate.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah, that's it. So obviously getting into some fight stuff as well, because I know there's a lot of people who want to hear about different things with that. Now, there's some big questions here, but obviously out of all of the fights you've had, question that comes up in every interview I do, whether it's bare knuckle, whether it's glove boxing, whether it's anything, is about toughest fights and all that. Now, you've had a lot of tough fights in your career, a lot of all different types of people. Obviously ex-glove boxers. Obviously, you fought Gary Furby, the governor. You fought ex-MMA fighters. You fought, insane list of people that you fought. But is there like one or two fights, that stands out as being maybe the toughest in your career,
Right.
all in all?
Amateur would be Craig Denton, Darren Sutherland, them two were my hardest amateurs. Bare knuckle, second Dave Radford fight, and Terry Carruthers, Ricky Nelda, also a very, very tough one. And unlicensed, I would say Lee Kellett and Gavin Foote. Lee Kellett and Gavin Foote, and God rest his soul, Scott Westcott, who died. They were very hard fights. They're the don't get us wrong, like, if there's any other lads that I've been involved in hard fights with, don't take this is disrespect, but they're the only ones I can remember. I can't remember what I had for me fucking breakfast. So if I've had a war with you and it's been a good fight, please don't take it as disrespect, because I know I've been involved in a lot of them, but they're just the ones that I can pick off the top of my head for years.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, you've had so many, you probably had too many to remember as well. And yeah, I mean, there's no favoritism with that at all. Like, because obviously everyone who steps in the ring or any type of fight, they deserve respect. So obviously there's no favoritism. But yeah, a few off the top of your head is a good one. Now, obviously, I also want to go back in time as well to winning the world title, because obviously I know we're going back a few years with this, but winning the world title, a transatlantic title, incredible achievement. Obviously, I know you've had a lot of fights since then. Now, people always talk about the specifics of the fight, but obviously, in terms of how it feels to become a world champion and to sort of prove to people that you got to that highest level and everything like that. When you win, I mean, you become a world champion. What do you remember? Like, what went through your mind in a moment like that? It's gonna be like out of this world.
Well, to be honest with you, again, I was going through another bad part in my life, but I had my partner at the time and one of my daughters there. Met up that. My uncle Des walked us into the ring. My uncle Des was my godfather. He's dead now. It meant a lot, but I promised my dad that I'd do it, and I fucked up the boxing. So I was glad that I got to take the world title back on me. Father, I'll always be grateful for Joe Smith Brown going through with that. He promises a world title if I needed to get it, and I got it. But then obviously I retired, and then I had no wants to come out again. But obviously I was making money for young Frankie, and Jim Freeman Dove taught us into fighting Richie Glacier. Then I come back and I had the bug again, and then again I don't want to be negative or anything, but nothing was promised. Nothing happened that I was promised. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. But I don't want to talk too much about that because it's going to come across that I'm negative. But as I said, I wish Joe all the best with his company. I hope he's very successful because Joe does deserve it. And I wish all the lads that are fighting a fucking safe career. I just hope that they get more fights than what I did, and I hope that everything's fucking works out the promise. They're not fucking just used, you know what I mean, and fucking I can't even think of the word that I'm trying to think, but I just hope everyone does all right by it. Something as that. I hope everyone makes a few quid.
Yeah. Well, likewise, champ. I hope they earn well out of the game because it is a ruthless game at the end of the day. I mean, there's no two ways about that, and no negativity towards any individuals. It's just the sport of boxing, the sport of bare knuckle. I mean, it is a ruthless game, so I agree. I hope everyone does well out of it. And I hope so. Now, obviously, in your career as well, there's a few other legendary fights. Obviously, you've had too many fights to talk about them all, because we'd be here like until next week or whatever. But if we're picking a couple of, fan favorite fights and just anything you'd like to share about it. Now, obviously, the Dave Radford fight comes up over and over and over again, the beast, and obviously the legend that he is fighting Roberto Duran and everything that he accomplished. And, the brutality of that fight with broken hands and just the whole scenario that went down there. Obviously, a good few years have passed since that. What are your reflections on the fight now? Is it one that you remember well? Is it one that you think of often? Just anything you'd like to share with the fans about that one, because that's a legendary fight.
I can remember being on the Bills and the Gorman lads doing me cuts, and one of my first amateur boxing coaches was there, Paul King, and he was cornering us, and it was the only time in my life where I had to psychoanalyze myself, like I was looking at Dave. Me and Dave had both the same injuries, fucking broken eye sockets and fractured cheekbones, broken thumbs, wrists, and I was just looking at the cunt, and I was just thinking, I had hit him with everything but the kitchen sink, and I was thinking, what the fuck have I got to do to get out of here, because I was psychoanalyzing myself, I was then thinking to myself, what have I got left? I was panting like a fucking wrecked dog, you know what I mean? And it was horrible. Then thank God the next round, I think it was body shot to stop with. I'm not sure, to be honest with you. Maybe you couldn't see, I can't remember. But listen, Dave Radford, I know I get a lot of praise now on social media, but let me tell you, Dave Radford's done more for the game than me. You know what I mean? It's gotten to be that he's been you know what I mean? But again, I don't want to go in any negativity, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
Savage
Yeah,
fights, super fights, but I met someone who was a brother for life. He was at my son's christening. We phone each other. We speak every day by text. And he's genuine bloke. He's helped me out before, and I'll help him anytime I can. And I love him like a brother. And we're both often say that on text. I love you, mate. Don't leave it too long to next to each other or whatever. I'll ask how his children are, ask how his family is, and he'll do the same for me. Dave's a gentleman. He's probably one of him and Craig Denton, probably the best lads I've met and still close with. Very, very close to both like brothers to us, so the fighting carry on.
Yeah.
I really need
Absolutely.
to start fucking. I need to start meeting fucking friends a different way though.
Yeah, it's good to get an insight into it though, champ, because I love to get into the stuff the fans don't see, because they see the fight, but like hearing you kept in touch with them and you've got that respect
2
and
minutes.
everything.
Two
Fantastic.
seconds, mate. All right, love yous, lads. I'll see you soon. Sorry, mate.
Don't worry, mate, it's all good.
Nephews for a long time.
Yeah, family's got to come first, mate. That's a blessing, absolute blessing. So don't worry at all. No need to worry about it. So right, other fights I was thinking of. So obviously another one that comes up here is obviously Gary Furby as well as another legendary fight there. Obviously I know that was a gloved bout as well. It took place. I've seen the fight. It was a really good fight. Now I want to give him a little mention as well as being pretty much a legend versus legend fight. Because I know you're very, very humble about your career from what I've heard in this interview, but obviously you are a complete legend and so is he. So again, with that fight, like the memories, the stories of anything that comes to mind that you would like to share about how it went down, and and then I'm going to pick a couple of fights and then go into some other things. Yeah.
I couldn't be asked for fighting. I was off my nuts and pissed all the time. And I messaged Gary. I says, "Listen, I can't be bothered." I says, "If you need the money, I says I'll come and do it." Supposed to be a no contest fight, and then they give him the decision. But I'm not making no excuses. Gary got the win, deserved the win, and I shouldn't have been in the ring. But listen, if that's the worst thing that's gonna happen to us, so be it. You know what I mean? another blessing, you know what I mean? 'Cause if I hadn't been humbled like that, you know what I mean? Like, you know, as well as young Marcus did when he stopped us 2 years ago, that put the biggest dent in me fucking ego, you know, that made us fucking want to change and put the plan in action, you know. So it is what it is. I can't really tell you too much about the Furby fight. Wasn't in a good place, but I wouldn't let another lad down just because of my fucking demons. I wouldn't let another man down because he needed the money, you know what I mean? Simple as that. That's all I can really tell you about it.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, again, it's just one that really deserves a mention because, like I say, it was legend versus legend. And honestly, I mean, if you weren't on form, then it really doesn't show because I know obviously you step in there against anyone, anytime. So,
But
fair
listen,
enough.
at the same time, I can't just sit down like you say, you know, just because you went on form. Because let me tell you, I've known Furby a long, long time, you know, in the box, and that wasn't
Yeah.
the real Gary Furby that you seen there either. That was only a shadow of Gary Furby that we've seen because Gary Furby at his correct weight, he's only 75 kilos, middleweight, you know what I mean? Gary's no heavyweight. You know what I mean? It's because
Yeah.
Gary's out of shape and he's old now. That's the same as me. I'm only a fucking welterweight. I'm a welterweight, light middle. You know, that's my proper true fighting weight. But just because I'm fucking fat and old now, I can't keep me proper fighting weight. But no excuses, you know. Not about them. He got the win. Simple as that. It is what it is.
Yeah, fair enough. Like I say, it's going to give much. I'll do one or two more fights, and then we'll get into a couple of other things, and
Yeah.
we'll wrap it up. Now, obviously, another big fight that comes up time and time again. I'm just thinking of which one to do next. I think we'll probably, the Ricky Nelda fight is probably a good one also. Um, yeah, let's go with that one because that's one that comes up over and over again. The same sort of thing with the memories of that, because that's another absolute classic fight. I mean, when you see it on YouTube, it's probably had I don't even know how many views, so many. And that's another legendary fight. So with that, what are your reflections on that? However many years on, I don't even know how many years it's been since. It's probably only been a couple of years, but it's flown
I
by.
can
But
remember,
yeah,
I can remember hitting him with an uppercut, right? And
yeah,
I've dropped heavyweight pros with gloves on with them shots, you know what I mean? And it was a massive, massive shock. I was thinking, how the fuck is he still on his feet? And you rocked back and he like landed on the ropes. You know, I'm not going to say that the ropes kept him up because I'm not that fucking arrogant or fucking ignorant to say that I had him beat. But let me tell you, that was a quarter of a fucking shot and I felt it down to me fucking toes. And he's still on his feet, so listen, he's got all the respect of me anyway and all the love in the world, Ricky. You know what I mean? Ricky speak every morning still as well. But listen, that shot fucking the same shot decked fucking heavyweights with gloves on. So for him to take that and he still come back and he still give us fucking hell himself, you know. Ricky's a great lad, you know. I'm very lucky that I've met so many really, really good true friends, you know. I was in Ricky's stag do. I could tell you some stories about that, but we'll probably get fucking all arrested. So I'll keep that to myself. That was really, really tough fight. And then, as I say, I thought I'd done enough to nick it. He thought he'd done enough to nick it. Then I worked on Bromsgrove. Me and Ricky spent a lot of time together. I class Ricky as a brother. I've got nothing but love for him. All the respect in the world. He's a genuine lad. You know, when I speak to Ricky, I can open up, I can tell me problems. Um, he's always bigging us up, you know. And obviously, I spoke to him the day about me dad's grave, and he messages back. He says, James, he says, when you're there, he says you need to just have a little bit of time and think. From what you were 5 years ago to now. He says, yes, it's took you 5 years to be able to be fit enough to take your son to your dad's grave, but like 5 years ago, you'd all be looking down proud, from what you've come from, wanting to die, to having your son eventually at his grave, So
yeah.
Ricky's picked us up a good few times, Ricky's a good lad, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
I love the respect, champ, that exists between you and some of the opponents. And it's wonderful because that's something that the fans don't always see. And it's really good to get into it here and, give those guys the respect. We'll do one more big fight. And like I said, I know there's too many. And then we'll get into one or two other things and we'll wrap it up because I know, it's late and everything like that. But Obviously there's a guy now. No, I never get his name right, but the Goran, Croatian ex-UFC fighter. I think he was in KSW. He was in Rinzin. He was in all different MMA stuff. And obviously that's a bit of a controversial fight. That is, it's got that little bit of controversy about it. But again, obviously, this shows obviously how bare knuckle has grown as well, given your time in the game. From hay bales to obviously massive sellout events at the O2 and this place and that place and XUFC, it's grown a lot even during your time. But with Goran and with that and the controversy around it and everything, how do you feel about it now, looking back on it, what do you think your thoughts on how that all went down, with that situation?
I honestly don't think anything of it, to be honest with you. It is what it is. I personally don't think I would have got a decision anyway. You know what I mean? I wasn't wanted in BKB then. I think it shows with the way that me fights were scored and the way that I wasn't matched a lot. So I don't think I would have got a decision anyway. Goran is a great fighter. He hits very, very hard. I've got nothing but love and respect for him. It was unfortunate that he come with his head. But listen, I'm not saying that he once intentionally done it. That's just where he fights. He's a cage fighter. Even Goran, obviously him when it come up on Facebook, he said he puts it on and said, well, you know what really, really happened? And he said, I didn't hit you with the head. And obviously, God rest his soul, Stephen Miller sent me a picture. You can see, like, obviously I'm getting nutted. And I says, what do you mean? I says, you didn't do it. I says, fuck me. I said, I just got to send a picture of it. So I put it on you and like give Goran credit. And he messaged, he went, sorry. He says, I didn't honestly really think that I did. I said, that's fair enough. I said, but it is. I've been in the game for a long, long time too. I'm too long in the tooth to be making excuses up, pretending that I've been headbutted. You know what I mean? And I'll be honest with you, I wanted to continue with the broken jaw, but when I got the fracture, honestly, I didn't feel the break, even though I couldn't talk. But the fracture was fucking awful. Honestly, the worst pain I've felt in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that the worst injury of your career then? Because I know obviously you've had broken hands, you've had the eye sockets, the cheekbones, broken. You've had some absolutely crazy stuff, and obviously this is just, I think, a testament to your toughness. Now I know obviously you've got a lot of fighting skill as well as toughness.
If you can say that, I've done that, and that thing has broken it. Obviously, I didn't go to the doctors. It's just reset. I can't bend it anymore. That was off the Radford second one, and obviously now when it gets curled, it's just agony. You know what I mean? But listen, it's my fault. No one put a gun to my head and tell me to go and fight. I fight because I'm not well. You know what I mean? I'm fucking not weighed up properly. You know what I mean? People like to go painting. People like to go fucking playing polo. People like to go surfboarding. I don't. I like fucking going toe to toe, inflicting pain and getting pain inflicted on me, because that's what makes me tick. That's just it.
Yeah. Fair enough. I mean, fair enough, you can't fault it. But so obviously, we've touched on a few individual fights there, but obviously, in your own words, I want to get into this because you're very humble about your career. And obviously, I know you're a humble person, but I'm surprised just how much, to be honest, talking here. But it's a good thing, though. But what is your proudest moment, though, of your career, whether it's the gloves, whether it's bare knuckle, whether it's anything in terms of, the fight or the win that you look back on now and you just think, or maybe it's not one, maybe it's more than one, but you just think, that was it. That was really, the fight that you feel like, when you look at yourself in the mirror. It might not be one fight, but you've got a lot to be proud of. So I'm just curious, which one really stands out as like the one you're the most proud of.
It has to be this fight I'm going on at the minute, mate, because every day I wake up. Don't get us wrong, the obsession's gone a long time ago, but still, when things aren't going my way, I go on with children, or when I'm missing my dad, the compulsion still comes on me. Because it'll be very, very easy. It's what I've done for the last 20 years. I've numbed shit with cocaine and alcohol. So, it still comes on us, the compulsion. And listen, I'm not going to tell you these lies. There's been 3 times I've been very, very close to relapsing. But my higher power or my sponsor that I've rang, for whatever reason, I haven't, you know what I mean? I've bottled it. Because I know very quickly where it's going to go. If I relapse, I'm going to die. There's no two fucking ways about it, I know there's lots and lots of people out there who would really, really like to see me fucking relapse. I'm not saying they'd like to see us die, but they'd love to see me broken again, in the gutter. But one day at a time. I'm clean. I'm still clean, and that's all I can say about that. This is definitely the hardest fight, not physically but mentally. I struggle with my emotions. I struggle with my head massively. You know, um, Fighting's not hard. Fighting's a walk in the park. But this bastard, every morning when I wake up, that's hard. You know what I mean?
Mm. Yeah.
And that's it,
Well,
definitely.
you know, all I can say about that, champ, is obviously, obviously, once again, is big respect on that. Obviously, you do have a lot to be proud of. You have the respect and the admiration. In fact, I'd even say you have the love of an awful lot of people out there. And I know there's always people who want to see us go down and want to shoot us down and all that. But obviously, that when I go on social media and everything, all I ever see for yourself is lots and lots of respect, genuine respect. So you definitely inspire others by staying in the fight. I mean, the fight up here every day definitely inspire other people. So that's what I'd say about that, and that's not even a question, but that's just the honest truth. But good stuff. All right then. Now, one of the last things, there's only a couple more things anyway that I want to sort of touch on here is obviously the documentary. The Vice documentary, that you were obviously featured in a few years ago. I watched that when it first came out, well, around the time it came out, and everything like that. Absolutely cracking, really, really good documentary. But in terms of that, I mean, in terms of your life being, documented up there on TV and being out there for people to see and all that sort of stuff. I know, obviously, with you mentioned your dad's grave, there was obviously a little feature about that in the documentary as well. But how does it feel to sort of be up there? Being on the TV, being in the mainstream Vice documentary, being recognized for your achievements in that sort of massive way, because I know you've struggled, but something like it's a massive achievement. So what do you think about the Vice documentary and that experience and what that was like?
I don't think fuck all about it, to be honest with you, apart from the only thing that I do think about it is that the what they call the reporters or whoever the fuck they were doing it, when they got me and Leanne and Tory to sign the bits where they said, oh, they didn't tell me the truth. They said, oh, it's a disclaimer. We didn't make a penny. Now, listen, I'm not saying that I should have been entitled to all of it, not one bit, but they've made a lot of money off it. And, I think that I should have got a little bit from my family because let me tell you, this fighting is not easy at all on the family. And I put my family and lost two families through fighting. And not just that, through my erraticness and dysfunctional, fucked up head. But I do believe that my family should have got something that would have helped them through fucking some of the crazy times that I've brought on them. I don't really think much about it. I don't want to be looked up to. I don't want fame. I don't want anyone to fucking think I'm this or the other because I'm nobody to look up to. You know what I mean? I am fucking someone who's not weighed up properly. Someone who's had fucking massive fucking battles with addictions. Who's dysfunctional. Who who struggles with feelings, with emotions. You know, I'm not someone that you want your son to look up to. I've got a big heart. I'm fucking genuine. But that's probably all that I have got going for us. I'm an erratic, dysfunctional, fucking heartless, fucking no conscience cunt. You know. But I'm working on that. I'm working on it every day. And that's all I can say, really.
Yeah. Well,
I have a lot of
something, champ.
character
I mean,
defects. A lot of character defects, but
yeah.
one day at a time. I've learned in this fellowship. The last thing that I tried and the first thing that's worked. And principle before personality, I'm learning. I've still got a long, long way to go. Been told I've got to forgive myself. That's a massive thing for me. I'm nearly finished with 12 steps. I still haven't forgiven myself. Hopefully one day it'll come. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. I deserve to have the mental torture, because I've done a lot of wrong. And I've caused a lot of people a lot of mental torture too. I've been an angel, and just because I can say cocaine cracked up my soul, that doesn't make it any easier because the things that I've done was still me in the flesh and blood, might have been my personality or my character, it was like the devil was in us when that was in us, but I'm not gonna fucking sugarcoat it. It was my wrong choices
Yeah.
that put me to where I was.
Well, champ, I mean, we all, make mistakes in life. I mean, everybody out there. I think if you could see, behind the surface that the people show the world, I mean, I think everyone's done wrong. Everyone's making mistakes, and that's how we learn. That's how we grow. And the thing you've got to think of is, I mean, it might seem obvious, but if you was really, like a bad person, you obviously wouldn't be feeling sorry about it. So I think it's more of a situation you've learned and grown from. And hey, I wasn't there, and it's not my business. But all I can say is the fact that you're facing up to it, and the fact that you're learning and growing, is, takes massive bravery. And everyone learns from their mistakes, man. And I don't know what else to say about it. But the fact you're learning and growing from it and changing and whatever's happened, you've got a lot of respect for that. A lot of people never face it. That's what I've seen in my life. So somebody actually facing the demons, every day, that's a big thing. And as you say, that's harder than any fight. But you deserve a lot of respect for that. And once again, it shows people it can be done. I know I said that before, but it shows people it can be done. But fair enough, fair enough. Well, I love the honesty and I respect that. So it is a shame though about the money with that documentary, because obviously I thought it would be a situation where you were looked after by those guys. Because I know Vice obviously they do a lot of stuff, but that's a shame to hear
I
about
got
it.
a couple of pints of Guinness and a fucking dinner at the diner.
Oh man, that is a shame.
But the one ace
But
Guinness, I can remember the one ace.
yeah. On the subject though of that sort of thing, of publications and all that sort of thing, there is a book out that you've got out as well, isn't there? About your life story. Now to be 100% honest, I've not read it, but although I will be getting a copy, especially after talking to you. But with anyone out there who's not read it or don't know what it's about, can you tell us a little bit about about that book and like the story that's contained in there, and everything
Yeah,
of
well,
that nature, please?
just a bit about my life. From being born up until I won the world title, and then that's it really. What's the story? James McCrory, written by Cy Biggs. That's it. I think it's on Google or Amazon or something. I don't know whatever it's called. Um, and just what I was going to say as well, can I just give a shout out to James Shinny Davenport. Shinny, it's like a recovery thing he's got on the internet, Facebook and that. Shinny's Tribe, I think it is, or Shinny something anyway. James Shinny Davenport, that man was responsible for the start of me in recovery, you know what I mean? He was introduced to a fucking crazy James McCrory, some of the stories that he could tell you about with phone calls, when I was down in the Midlands, when I wanted to stop it, but I just didn't know how to, you know. A lot of other people would have just blocked my number, but that man fucking reached out, and he's a great man. He doesn't get enough credit. So if you don't want to reach out to me, if you're struggling, James Shinny Davenport, or just put in Shinny recovery program, and you'll get through to him. He's a massive, massive help.
That's good. That is good to give a shout out to the people who've helped you, who've got the good hearts and all that.
Oh,
Because
definitely.
there's some really, really good people out there. And I know obviously when we turn on the news every day, when we do it, there's always negative stuff and all sorts of shit on there. But there's actually a lot of good people with hearts of gold out there,
Yeah.
amongst it all. So giving them a mention is a good thing as well. But Champ, I mean, we've talked about a lot of stuff, and we've talked about some key fights. We talked about the highs and the lows, and we've talked about a whole bunch of things. Now, the last thing I do want to say is, as soon as we're on the subject of obviously shout outs and all that, is obviously for your fans and your supporters. And I know you were saying earlier you're not a role model, and that's fine. But in terms of all the people that have followed you and are really been really loyal to your career, I'm talking about proper fans now, not people who come and go and blow in
Yeah.
the wind and all that, but the real ones. Any of them are watching this now, whether you've met them or whether they're just people watching from far away or whatever. What would you say to them? What would be any sort of final words that you say to your
Um,
supporters?
all of the general fans, that have come from BK Boy and your top lift era all the way through. Can't thank you enough for always supporting us, for buying tickets, sponsoring us, Joe Brown, he sponsored us, Michael Grayson sponsored us. There's too many other small individual ones, Adam Smith, Bradley Saunders, you know, all the little ones for me boxing, but them big ones, you know, I couldn't have done it without yous. Definitely couldn't have. Thanks for all them lads who's bought, you know, clothes, who's bought us gloves, who's helped us with meal preps, with gym memberships, you know, because it's hard for fighters, it really is hard. So if anyone's watching this and thinking about sponsoring any fighters, this isn't for me, by the way, this is for other fighters. You know, please fucking dig deep, because especially if fighters have got families, it's really, really hard and stressful, because you know, us fighters, we want to fight. We've got big egos. We love fighting. We love being in the best fucking mental and physical shape we can be. You know, so obviously we put everything into getting in that shape, with the gym costs and traveling, petrol, food, everything you name it adds up. You know, and before you know it, it's very, very easy to start nicking it into the fucking savings and, you know, other money that should be getting spent elsewhere, bill money. You know, I've done it myself, and I know other fighters do it. So don't be shy, you know, reach out and pay a couple of quid on a fighters way if you can make life fucking easier, because, you know, a lot of these young lads don't realise, you know, maybe they do, maybe they're just as raj as me. You know, you're putting your lives on the line every time you go into that ring. Trust us, no one gives a fuck, you know. You're just another number. There's plenty of other fighters out there that can replace you. So, you know, I would like to say to any potential sponsors or anyone that's been asked to sponsor, please just dig deep and give what you can and make other fighters' lives more fucking doable, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's powerful words, absolutely powerful words, and obviously I know you've seen it up close and personal and experienced it, but it's really good advice for it's good advice for young fighters out there as well. You know, like you say, they don't know the game yet. You know, to get the the wisdom from a veteran like yourself who's been and done it all and all the battles. It's a good wisdom. So I appreciate you sharing that as well, champ, because that gives some value to young fighters. Listen, the last thing for me to say really is obviously once again is a big thank you for coming on. I appreciate you making the time, also taking the time out of your evening. I know we've gone in depth as well. We've been nearly an hour. I mean, that's good though. I'm well happy about that. We've gone in depth into some good stuff. So, all I want to say, champ, is obviously massive respect to you, and keep looking after yourself and keep fighting, and keep inspiring people, and good things will come, man. But big thank you for your time, and I hope you have a really good evening as well. Thank
All
you,
right, you
champ.
too, my friend. Good luck and God bless. I appreciate the time as well. I appreciate the interview.
Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to the Simply Inspired YouTube channel, and there'll be more videos coming soon.